What is up, my friends? Liverpool are top of the league table. I'm going to say it again. It sounds so good. Liverpool are top of the league table. We have gone to Turf Moor and beaten Vincent Kompany's Burnley by 2-0. The first goal coming from the right boot of Darwin Nunez. The second goal, well, it's a special one. Very special, actually. Some might say momentous. Because we had to score that second goal not once, not twice, but 3 times before we were allowed to win the game with a bit of comfort. And that's thanks to our friends at the PGMOL, Paul Tierney, Simon Hooper, and the rest of the cartel that don't have a Scooby-Doo what it is that they're supposed to actually do. But it matters not, my friends, because we got the job done. Well done to the boys for going there. Keep grinding it out. We'll have to win it against the odds, as we always do, because, let's be honest, we were shafted not once but twice. But that's a weekly occurrence for us, isn't it? The good news, we kept a clean sheet, we scored goals, we're top of the table. That'll do. That will do. So, I want to know how you guys are feeling. We're about to stick up the Man of the Match poll. I've got 3 contenders from you guys already, but I want to know another one. So, I'm going to get the poll up for Man of the Match. So, we've got a Virgil van Dijk, we've got a Trent Alexander-Arnold, an Endo. I need one more. I need one more option for you guys. So VVD first, then Endo, add an option, another one, oh God, I'm trying, you know what, I'm going to go with what I think is the name I've seen the most in the chat, and it was a toss-up between Gomez and Quansah, but I'm going for Quansah. I think I've seen more of his name than anybody else's. Right, so your Man of the Match poll is now live. We've given you 4 options to vote for. Is it Virgil van Dijk? Is it Endo? Is it Trent or Quansah? Look, I know people will probably feel somebody else should or shouldn't have been in there, but we only have space for 4. But let me just say this. I want to just single out for a second Darwin Nunez for his goal, because that goal is a very Darwin Nunez goal. You've seen the foul that he fell to the ground on the challenge. But then it's that fighting spirit to get back up off the ground and rejoin the attack. Then compose himself when Cody Gakpo plays the ball to him on the edge of the box. And he rifles one in to the corner and gives us the perfect start at Turf Moor. So big shout out and big love to Darwin for that goal. Brilliant strike. After that, well look, you know what happened. We had a perfectly good goal ruled out because there was a foul, according to the referee, on the Burnley defender from Darwin. Now, VAR in its infinite wisdom didn't want to get involved then because Tierney had already ruled it out. So VAR didn't want to get involved and say, Paul, he didn't touch him there, mate. You might want to have a look at that, because he'd already ruled it out. And what we'll get as the excuse is the threshold of clear and obvious wasn't met. But fast forward to the second half, Harvey Elliott thinks he's made it 2-0 to Liverpool. At my first instinct, I seen the position of Salah and I gave Tierney the benefit of the doubt. I thought, you know what? Salah is in front of Trafford. But this is where you guys come in. And you said to me, Craig, have a look at that again. Mohamed Salah was pushed and you're absolutely spot on. Now, I'm an idiot, so it's okay if I miss these things. But it's not okay if Simon Hooper and Paul Tierney miss these things. And it's very coincidental that they can run to the monitor when they want to rule out yet another Liverpool goal, but they couldn't possibly look at the monitor when they could give Liverpool a goal. It is shenanigans of the highest order. These are shenanigan terrorists. That's what I'm going to call them. Shenanigan terrorists. I'm not calling them normal terrorists. Shenanigan terrorists. And I want to single out as well David Maddock for one of his tweets, because he's damn right. David said, that second VAR non-decision that has gone against Liverpool in 3 days is not just baffling, but ludicrous. 1 is unfortunate, but 2, well, that's suspicious, especially given the VAR official against Arsenal and the ref here. It stinks. And that's coming from a journalist. And if journalists are willing to call that out, shouldn't we, the fans, back them up? Because he's absolutely right. The referees are a disgrace. Tierney is a disgrace. Hooper is a disgrace. It's a cartel. And we, the footballing public, deserve better. But you know what? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Because we got the job done. So well done to our boys. Well done to Jurgen. And let's go back and talk about the team, I guess. Jurgen put out a team that I think, did their jobs well today. Yes, we made hard work of it, but you're also playing against not just 12, but 13 men. So it was more difficult than it needed to be. But we didn't let our heads drop, and we went on and we won the game. And it was such a beautiful moment to see Diogo come off the bench and do what Diogo does best. Pop up the right area at the right time with a natural, instinctive striker's finish. Trafford was fantastic today for Burnley. He's one hell of a shot stopper, one hell of a young keeper. And Jota had the presence of mind to put it through his legs from a tight angle. And that's what we've been missing. That ruthlessness in front of goal that Diogo showed today. So well done. Great to have Diogo back. And hopefully now we can push on from here. Diogo can get a run of games because we're being too wasteful in front of goal. But you know what? It's not about negativity today. It's about positivity, and it's about enjoying the fact that we're top of the table. And that I'm very pleased for. And I'm sure you guys are as well. Why are we always the target, said Emmy. Look, we'll all have our own thought processes on this, mate. But for me, it goes beyond coincidence at this point. And until Sky and TNT Sports and Talk Sport and the BBC, until these cowards stand up and say what we're all seeing, and somebody needs to start defending the sporting integrity of the game in England, because these officials are having undue influences on outcomes way beyond the remit, way beyond what's even rational at this point, and somebody has to grow a pair. Somebody needs to say, if I need to get sacked, so be it, but I'm going to speak out, because the game's been destroyed. Destroyed by people who shouldn't have the level of influence they have on a game, but they have, and they need that position to be taken away from them because they're not fit for purpose. Wouldn't be Liverpool game without some shenanigans from the officials, said Declan. Let's have a look quickly to see how the man of the match poll is getting on so far. Well, so far it's a very close race. VVD, Endo and Quansah are all battling it out with only a couple of % dividing them. So we'll leave that poll running. Endo back to his super performances. Thoughts? Yes, but for that one pass, Nessie. So Endo had a great game, but that pass, you know the one I'm on about, wasn't great. He can't be doing that. Now, we got away with it on this occasion, but he can't be doing that. How is Elliott not a goal? So I've got to admit, I didn't spot the push. You guys in the chat were good enough to tell me to have a look at it again. And when I seen it, I couldn't unsee it. That's the best way I can say it. So as always, the chat comes to my rescue. And yeah, once I seen it, I couldn't unsee it. And you're right. He was pushed. There's nothing Mo could have done about that. He couldn't have turned and got out of the way any quicker. But isn't that what these guys are paid for? And there's a VAR, an assistant VAR, a replay official, and Tierney. So 4 of them missed what you superstars picked up on straight away. I watched it on a German stream and they're baffled by all the recent crazy VAR decisions, said DF. Look, I'm going to make an appeal, as I always try to do, to people's greater sensibilities. If you care about the game, please push aside whatever club it is you support and try to look at these decisions objectively and tell me that there aren't certain teams who are being shafted and certain teams who are getting the breaks. It isn't lost on me, as a Liverpool fan, that we go to London in a top of the table clash and get robbed against Spurs. Robbed. Dodgy cards, goal ruled out for no reason, robbed. We then play Arsenal in a hotly contested, great game of football between two good sides. And what are we talking about after the game again? A penalty that wasn't given against the London side in the top of the table clash. I am seeing a pattern. And I don't care if you think I'm a conspiracy theorist. It is getting beyond the joke now. And we had to win that game 3 times. 3 times. But I am glad that journalists like David Maddock are starting to speak out. Because he'll be belittled. And he'll be called a Liverpool sympathiser. And he'll be slagged off. For me, and if we don't call it out as a footballing community, it's only going to embolden them. And look at the evidence. You've got all the decisions that are baffling everybody, whether it's what's happened with Gary O'Neill, whether it's what happened with Everton in their last game, whether it was us today, us against Arsenal, us against Spurs, whatever it is, if we don't come together and call this out, it's going to embolden them. And they're just going to get more and more brazen in what they're doing. That's my take on it, as a fan of the game for my whole life. I have this idea about getting a group of referees that alternate between the top 5 leagues and don't have any potential inbuilt biases or don't have any run-ins with managers to look back on. That's what something needs to happen, because at every opportunity to be transparent or to move with technology, the PGMOL have dragged their heels. Look at bringing in VAR. We were behind other leagues to do it. Why? Look at bringing in the automated offside decisions. Why are we delaying that again? Why do we not want transparency of the audio? If you've nothing to hide, be transparent. We should start Darwin on the left, Diogo in the middle and Mo on the right. I agree, I prefer Darwin on the left. At what point are we allowed to say that Mohamed Salah's form isn't great? Because Mohamed Salah's form isn't great. And it'll be an interesting time for me when Mo's at the AFCON to see how the team balances out and plays. But he's not been great. Gakpo is hit and miss. I don't know what's up with Lucho. He looks way off the pace. But defensively, good solid performance, as you guys have pointed out. Van Dijk was given the man of the match. I thought Joe Gomez did pretty well. Trent, I thought, had a good game. No problems. Clean sheet is very hard to push back and argue against a clean sheet. You love to see a clean sheet. VAR should be scrapped. Everybody knows this. Not just for the shady decisions, but also the time wasted in matches causing injuries to every club. So today was a good example, Kerem, of one of those goals where I didn't think it was going to be ruled out. I wasn't expecting a VAR call for Elliott's goal. And that's the downside of this, isn't it? That it's no longer a quick glance to the linesman to see if the flag's up. Nowadays, you've got to do that quick glance to the linesman, and then you've got to wait until they find a way to rule it out. And that's what it looks like to me. They're looking for ways to rule out goals in a sport where that's the entire objective, and that's what brings people to the game. And it's also stop-start nature of the game is destroying it as well. So I'm very much on the get rid of VAR camp, but I'm also on the get rid of the PGMOL camp because they're not fit for purpose. Trent is awful defensively. That's bullshit. He won 3 or 4 challenges there today, one-on-one with his man. So stop using lazy old tired tropes about Trent not being good enough at defending and look at the evidence in front of your eyes. Trent today won that ball back on 2 or 3 occasions in one-on-one challenges. The only time he's got the better of is when he was pushed into, tripped and fouled and picked up a yellow. So, wrong. Mo is not good. Yes, that's correct. Mo is not good. And look, you can argue and push back against me all you want on Mo, but the chat have been saying it for the entire game. So I get it. People want to single me out as the Mo hater for daring to speak, but his form isn't good enough. Not to be our star boy on 350 grand a week. No, I'm all for giving him a run through the middle. I think he's not been as impactful in these wide positions. Maybe because he's too far away from goal. That could very well be a factor. But I'd like to see him in the middle for a little bit. Jota starts over Nunez going forward, right? Well, I would maybe push and say I think starts over Gakpo. Like, if I was putting out a front 3 tomorrow, I'd probably go Salah, Jota, Darwin as my front 3 if we were playing again soon and I had to pick one. I'm interested to see what Jurgen does when Mo's off of the AFCON. With Endo, it should be a fairly straightforward decision. Hopefully McAllister's back. If not, Jones can drop in there. Maybe Gravenberch can play in the 6. So I think we've got options in that regard. But it'll be interesting to see if he goes with Elliott while Mo is away, or if maybe he goes ballsy and puts somebody like Szoboszlai on the right. Craig, Gakpo goal wasn't the goal. Gomez is man of the match. Diaz is finished, not starting place. Endo has a bad second half. He kept losing. What? Gakpo didn't score. So how could Gakpo's goal not be a goal? That's confirmed by the fact that he's not on the score sheet. Thoughts on Quansah, Craig? He looks very much on the cards to be the next big thing. So much I feel like he is more composed than Colwill. Thoughts on his potential? Oh, look, mate. I've got to admit, Benjamin, I'm late to the Jarrell Quansah Appreciation Society. And by late, I mean until this pre-season, I had no expectation of Jarrell Quansah to become what we're seeing in front of our eyes, which is everything you've said in your post, Benjamin. It's brilliant. It's the dream scenario. You want your kids to come through the academy like that. You want Jarrell Quansah to stop Jurgen from having to dip into the market in that position or for that extra place. And you can't say he's not doing it. Excuse me. And that's tremendous credit to him, to his belief in himself, to the coaches, and of course to Jurgen for giving him the opportunity. So that's brilliant. Just great. And hopefully we've got one or two more of these young lads who are right on the edge like that, ready to come in. Craig, Diaz got an assist off the bench today. See, I'm old school, right? In that assists mean nothing to me. And here's why. A lot of the assists that we see today are as a simple pass to somebody who does the rest of the work. It's not like they picked a 50-yard diag over the top and he runs onto it. So I don't really put too much focus on assists unless it's a clear assist, not a simple little pass and then Jota does the rest. Because that's what happened. Jota did the rest. The hard part was done by Diogo. So yes, he might get an assist, but he didn't look up to the speed of the game for me when he came on, Diaz. Jota, Gakpo, Salah front three. I personally, I feel with Darwin scoring today, I feel it'd be weird now to drop Darwin, right? Because we're playing him hoping that he plays himself into goal scoring form. He gets himself a goal today. Remember, our next game is Newcastle, and remember what he did to Newcastle at St James's Park. So it's got to be Darwin starting for me against Newcastle. Jota through the centre, I hope most of us will agree on that. And of course Mo on the right. But yeah, I don't think you can drop Darwin now after him scoring. Endo intercepted the ball leading to the attack of the second goal. Endo's stepping up big time, man. Outside of that one misplaced pass today, Endo top notch again. And you're right, he is winning balls, he's intercepting, and his reading of the game is very, very good. So I'm not disagreeing at all with you, mate. There was that one lax pass today that almost cost us. But look, that happens. The Diaz hate is alarming. It's not hate. Some of you people just need to grow up. We're football fans. We talk about players' performances. And if somebody isn't playing well, I believe we as football fans have every right to question their style, their form. And I've caveated a lot of what I've said about Diaz by saying what he went through with his family. I don't know how he's even able to play. The mental stress and toll that would have taken on him, I couldn't even fathom, mate. I couldn't. But we're also not just sheep who are going to say everybody's great when they're not. Because ultimately, we want to win. And you can't put people who aren't playing well in the team just because. And Diaz has been nowhere near it for quite a while. And I don't think that's hate. I think that's just frustration, because we all want him to do well. Nobody wants anybody in our team to fail. At least no rational person. So I think we need to drop this hate malarkey Because it's again trying to be extreme in an opinion. You can be critical and still love somebody. Mo's not been good all year for me, said Andrew Gardner. I think there's a case for a rest. My thinking is it may unleash the other forwards, give Elliott a run there. Thank you for your super chat, Andrew. Well, we're going to be forced into making a decision when Mo goes away as to who's going to cover for Mo on that side. So I guess we'll get to see how the team, how balanced we look without Mo there. And it'll give us a sample size at least to compare against. Can we do a future comparison between Endo and Fabinho? Would be amazing to get career stats. I feel Endo seems more authoritative and I love Fabinho. So there was a really interesting comment, and I don't know if you guys picked up on it, by Jurgen Klopp about Fabinho. And he said Fabinho couldn't play the role on his own when he came to the club. He couldn't play the DM role on his own. It was an interesting little bit of information from Klopp. But he's given Endo a run now, an enforced run obviously because McAllister's been unavailable. And I don't think any of us can really say that he hasn't taken that opportunity. So for me now, that position's his to lose as we sit here. But unfortunately for him, he's going to go away to the Asia Games and McAllister's probably going to slot back into midfield again. And then what happens when he comes back? I guess that'll come down to how Alexis plays while he's away. Who's my man of the match? I'm probably tossing up between Trent and Endo. I've got to admit, and I'm holding my hands up to this, I didn't see the impressiveness from Verge today. But I'm not saying it wasn't there. I'm genuinely, sincerely saying I missed it because I'm in the wrong on this. They voted for man of the match. Chat were bigging up Verge. I'm absolutely open to me not being aware enough today. So I don't think my opinion on this man of the match is a fair one because I'm missing out the player who probably deserves it. Yannick said, I'd still prefer Mac where Gravenberch was playing today. I really want to see his creativity up top. Trent for Nomad for man of the match. Dom was terrible today. Well, he only came on late, to be fair. He had a shot that wasn't too far away. In a weird way again today, and I'd love your thoughts on this. I feel like the substitutions didn't really push us on again. I felt like they broke a rhythm a bit. And I felt like when Elliott went off and when Gravenberch went off, I don't think we had the same control of the area of the pitch that we had when Elliott and Gravenberch were on. Fabi attempted foul and got a red card. CR7 scored. I don't know what that's about. Oh, they're playing Al Ittihad are playing Al Nassr, aren't they? Yeah, nobody cares about the Saudi League though, let's be honest. Gravenberch is more effective when the game is end to end, said Harkin. Endo was man of the match for me. Well, look, the poll is there, and I'm going to have to finish up in a second and go do the watch along over on the Top of the League channel. So there is a link at the top of the live chat for Top of the League. I'm going over there right now to do a watch along of Manchester United against Villa. If you'd like to come and join us, all you need to do is click on the link or just search Top of the League on YouTube. But before we do, let's see your man of the match. So we've had almost, I'm going to wait till we get to 3,000 votes on this. We've had 2,980 votes. I'm just going to wait till we get to the nice round 3,000. We're almost there. There we go. Hang on. One more jump. There we go. Right, so we've ended the man of the match poll, and your Anfield Agenda man of the match was Virgil van Dijk with 31% of the vote. Endo was in second with 29, Quansah with 24 then, and Trent with 14, and 3,000 people were kind enough to vote in that. So look, my friends, I hope to see you over on Top of the League. I'll be over there in 2 minutes' time, and we'll have a look at what's going on between Manchester United and Villa. I'll be then back on Anfield Agenda this evening to record the player ratings video. That'll come out later on tonight, probably at about 10 o'clock, in all honesty, 10:15. So do keep an eye out for that one. And yeah, appreciate you guys as always. Old man Digu, thank you for joining Anfield Agenda FC, mate, before we head off. Appreciate you. And look, I'll see you soon. Much love.